So Valve recently updated its tournament organizer requirements, and this is going to have an effect on mostly Counter-Strike 2, but pretty much any Valve-related competition can be affected by this, including Dota. So I kind of wanted to talk about these changes and what it's going to do to the ecosystem. Largely, I think these changes are good, but there is a very major downside that we'll get into a little bit later. So pretty much what happened was 2 days ago, Valve pushed an update to its tournament operating requirements and amended its limited game tournament license, which is pretty much just trying to restrict how Valve's intellectual property is being used in unauthorized manner. And this is mainly going to be tackling things like game case opening websites, skin trading sites, those kind of like the Steam gambling sites, which have been around for a while and Valve has been pretty negative of. This is going to take a harsher step in the esports space against them. So the two major changes here is that the one update, which is really going to affect Counter-Strike, forces any unranked events have to align with the exact same rules as ranked events. And what this pretty much meant was for ranked events, which are going to be like the bigger Valve sponsored towards like global kind of stuff, those already had rules in place, and this is just saying these smaller local tournaments that are maybe more for fun, but still have some money attached to them, have to follow the exact same rules. Before this, they followed different rule sets, which was, it kind of allowed for things to be worked differently. And that's kind of going to be the problem, is the money that went into these unranked events is not entirely gone, but a lot of it's going to be gone. And I think that's going to be the negative of it. The other site is a small change to its license, which requires tournament organizers to not distribute or display, including on team jerseys or in any content that may be visible during the broadcast, any content or material that either violates Valve IP or the terms of the Steam subscriber agreement. So this pretty much just bans tournaments and teams from promoting different like skin and gambling sites. Now, this doesn't mean that they can't be at events, but they cannot be on team jerseys, which is a problem because teams are currently getting money from them as advertisers, and if they can't be on their jerseys, they're going to pull back their money from the teams. Also, a lot of these gambling sites will sponsor events, which, if they can't advertise on the broadcast, again, means they're going to be pulling money from these events. And it means these unranked events that were largely getting funded by gambling sites are going to lose a lot of their funding, which I am guessing will mean we'll see less unranked events in the future going forward. People can always run stuff for fun. You can find ways to make money for prizes, but there's so much money in gambling sites. I mean, you just look at everything with Kick, right? There's so much money from gambling that is directed towards Kick, and that's kind of going to be lost. So I think upsides is that this is Valve tackling gambling and those various websites, which I think is a good thing. I think gambling can be very destructive. I think it's way too easy to access for minors, at least in speaking to somebody in America. Other countries might be different. I don't know. But this is going to be removing a lot of money from events, which also does indirectly coordinate more power to Valve, as these ranked events are going to be like even more prominent because there's going to be less events going around with less money. And that's unfortunately the negative to the part to the ecosystem, is that the money is somewhat necessary to continue running smaller events, which does also give smaller, less established teams more practice and more chance, camera time to grow, right? And that kind of keeps smaller teams giving more of an opportunity to get into these very competitive ecosystems. But I digress. This is positive and negative. This just came out 2 days ago, so obviously we'll see what happens going forward. If you have any thoughts, leave a comment. Do the YouTube stuff. I'm small, so follow if you haven't. I'd appreciate that. That's it. Thanks for being here. See ya.